Time now for Wake Up Wisconsin's Morning Rush. Here's what you need to know as you get out the door. Today, Minnesota Governor and former Democratic Vice Presidential candidate Tim Walz will be in Eau Claire holding a town hall. Town hall will start tonight at 6 at the Pablo Center downtown. It's part of a tour of town hall meetings Walz is holding in Republican-controlled congressional districts. The event is free and tickets are available. The Kohl's in Eau Claire is no longer taking Amazon returns, temporarily at least. According to the Senior Vice President of Corporate Communications, Kohl's is discontinuing the service in a handful of stores as a test to see if that is the direction the Wisconsin-based retailers should take. A call to the Eau Claire location confirmed they are no longer accepting Amazon returns. And finally, the two astronauts stranded in space for the past 9 months are finally on their way home. Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore have been at the ISS since June. They were supposed to stay a couple weeks, but their Boeing Starliner was deemed unsafe. The SpaceX capsule sent to bring them home docked at the space station early this morning, should splash down sometime this afternoon.
And we could take a final look at that forecast too. You can see now
we're getting some sunrise now.
And we're going to have a nice sunrise too this morning. It's at 7:12 this morning. And we have some clouds around, but today overall is going to be another pretty nice day. Temperatures as you are heading out in the 20s and 30s. That'll be something we'll be tracking tomorrow. I have the latest forecast discussion now on our website.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Good Morning America starts after the break, and we're back in a few minutes.
Have a great day, everyone.
Tonight at 6, an unexpected off-duty death of a Menominee police officer. The department notifying the community of changes to look out for. The details first tonight. Plus, it's the winter season, and while getting outside can be difficult, an Eau Claire Winter Gear Share program has you covered. Learn how you can take advantage.
Rain melted our snow cover today, and more rain is likely tonight, though it could change back to snow for some by tomorrow morning. I'm tracking the details.
Also ahead, new data on homelessness in the United States. It's at a record high, but there is some good news for a vulnerable group. We've got you covered with the details.
We've got you covered. This is 18 News at 6.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Toby Mohr in for Katie Fredetton. The Menominee Police Department is alerting the public to upcoming changes following the unexpected off-duty death of one of its officers. The department says Officer Sam Miller passed away suddenly and unexpectedly. Been with the department since January and worked prior with the Pepin County Sheriff's Department, Durant Police Department, Boyceville Police Department, and the Dunn County Sheriff's Office. Because of his death, the Menominee Police Department has asked neighboring law enforcement agencies to help out for the next few days. Residents can expect to see police vehicles from other agencies throughout Menominee. Details about Miller's death weren't shared. The department asked for patience and understanding as they process this loss. 2 teenagers have been arrested in Barron County after a rash of mailbox fires. William Johnson, who is 17, and unidentified 15-year-old are awaiting charges. According to the sheriff, multiple calls came in yesterday of mailboxes being damaged, burned, and destroyed. Shortly after, a vehicle was pulled over with the 2 suspects in it. Inside was mail and packages from the damaged mailboxes. Johnson is being held in the Barron County Jail awaiting arson charges. The 15-year-old was referred to Health and Human Services for charges of party to the crime of arson. The U.S. Postal Inspector could also press charges. Well, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Matt Schaefer. Matt, rainy, dreary out there today.
Yeah, earlier today it was just a few lighter scattered showers. Now it's starting to pick up a bit more, get a bit more widespread. We can see on our camera outside of Phoenix Park, the ground and road is wet out there. I'm tracking where that is a little bit more likely in about 15 minutes.
Well, like Matt said, the snow may be disappearing out there today. As we say about Wisconsin weather, give it a minute and it'll change. In the Chippewa Valley, the winter season brings new recreation opportunities. Elliot Adams has you covered on a free way to enjoy the outdoors.
With cold, snow, and icy conditions, it's difficult to get outside during the winter months. All of the equipment is free to use and is available whenever the sites are open and staffed. In Eau Claire, I'm Elliot Adams.
All right, thanks, Elliot. We have more information on each Winter Gear Share site's availability at WQOW.com. The annual Eau Claire Humane Association's donation drive is in its waning days, and donations have been high. The Santa Paws donation drive allows donations to be used for direct expenses like food, costs, toys, and veterinarian services. Over 40 participating businesses' handmade ornaments are displayed that feature some of the shelter's residents. While an exact amount isn't known quite yet, there are signs that the fundraiser is doing well.
We've had lots of our very busy businesses ask for more several times this year, which seems like it's a good sign that people are definitely buying. And our tree looks pretty bare, so that means people have been buying.
Typically, Santa Paws raises roughly $15,000 for the shelter each year. Shoppers have until New Year's to pick up an ornament at businesses including Revival Records, The Brewing Project, and Tangled Up in Hue. Homelessness in the United States soared to highest level on record, according to government data released today. More than 770,000 people experienced homelessness in 2024. That's up 18% from 2023, according to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. That is the largest annual increase since they began collecting data in 2007. The surge in homelessness, driven by a lack of affordable housing, rise in migrants seeking shelter, and natural disasters, which caused some people to be displaced from their homes, the report says. There was some good news, though. Homelessness among veterans decreased by nearly 8% from last year, now at the lowest number on record. The new survey is shedding light on food insecurity in America. Here's Melissa Adon with the details.
A new survey reveals about 13% of U.S. households are food insecure. Donate, volunteer, advocate.
Someone could become a billionaire tonight. ABC's Morgan Norwood has more on the Mega Millions billion-dollar jackpot.
The Mega Millions jackpot ballooning to a massive $1.2 billion.
Right now are priced at just $2, but Mega Millions announced the price of luck will be more than doubled to $5 in April 2025. But look, they are promising bigger prizes in return. Good luck tonight. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
Concerns for the bird flu continue to grow. Sad story of its effects from Washington.
Feeling devastated, kind of in shock.
More than half of the big cats at the Wild Field Advocacy Center have died after being infected with the bird flu. Among them, a tiger, cougars, lynxes, bobcats, and other big cats.
It's been one big nightmare, really. I mean, never thought something like this would happen to us. Maybe only in a facility that had cats near each other, and ours are spread out over 5 acres.
The viral infection is carried by wild birds and can impact mammals that eat birds or bird droppings. Cats are very vulnerable and have symptoms happen fast, often killing the animals within days. The facility will stay under quarantine to help protect the remaining animals. It's expected to stay closed to the public for the foreseeable future. We learned today the bird flu virus in a Louisiana patient likely mutated while in the hospital. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC says the mutations mean the virus could become more transmissible to humans, though there is no evidence this strain has yet been passed to anyone else. The patient was infected from sick and dead birds in a backyard flock. Samples taken while the hospital identified mutations were not found in the wild birds. The CDC emphasized that public risk remains low. It was just 2 weeks ago. We learned a man from Barron County was infected, and yesterday, a flock in Burnett County tested positive for the flu. Now is the time to set your New Year's resolution. And did you know a new hobby in the new year can help your health? According to experts, crafting can actually bring you peace. It works by lowering the stress hormone cortisol. The best part, there are so many to choose from among the options: knitting, painting, drawing, and pottery.
Think back to what interested you as a kid and lean into that. Try new things with a positive, open mind, and do be patient with yourself. You don't have to be great at this or even good at this to get the benefits.
This isn't just for adults either. The National Endowment for the Arts Agency says arts education can help youth better cope with feelings, bounce back from adversity, develop tolerance and compassion for others. And the new year around the corner, which is a good time to reflect on what the Chippewa Valley has been listening to. Nestled in downtown Eau Claire, Revival Records is wrapping up its 15th year of selling vinyl. This year proved to be quite busy. The top genres were new releases and classic rock. But store manager Frank Reneck says there are still surprises throughout the year. For example, earlier in the year, Taylor Swift's Tortured Poets Department and Pearl Jam's Dark Matter both released on the same day and sold the same amount of first-day copies. There's also big demand for a variety of physical media.
This year, I think the biggest surprise or biggest influx has been in like the physical media of movies. VHS and DVDs have picked up like crazy for us this year, which is kind of exciting because Dustin and I are, and all of us really, are big fans of just like that old, finding these old B-list movies.
Other big releases in 2024 include Billy String's Highway Prayers and The Cure's Songs of a Lost World. Looking ahead, many vinyl releases take place months after albums are released, so Renex says artists like Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator, and Bon Iver's newest EP could be big in 2025. Before we head to break, Visit Eau Claire has joined a popular social media trend, posting a year in review video.
And with that, the 2024 season comes to an end.
Throughout it, they show off the Chippewa Valley's scenic views, fun activities, and notable events that happened in the 2024 season. Among them, the opening of the Sonnentag and the pumpkin drop of the ginormous Pumpkin Festival in Altoona. You can watch the full video on the Visit Eau Claire Facebook page. Well, still ahead, severe weather across the country is still impacting travelers heading home from their holiday destinations, what people are running into as they head back home. And New Year's is right around the corner, and police are reminding people this year about drinking responsibly, how you can help reduce crashes this time of year.
And I'm tracking rain moving through western Wisconsin in your local forecast.
Coming up tonight, we're under 48 hours to Election Day, and both vice presidential candidates are on their way to western Wisconsin, making one last case to voters.
And more rain on the way early on in the work week.
Also ahead, hear from presidential candidates and surrogates in swing states across the country today, including our battleground, Wisconsin. And election stress affecting your sleep? We'll share tips for managing the election insomnia tonight. Your Sunday Night Report starts now.
From WQOW, this is Eau Claire's own News 18 10 p.m. report.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Toby Mohr. News from the election and more is on the way in just a few minutes. But first, let's get a check of the forecast. Storm Tracker 18 meteorologist Jeremy Landgrebe joins us on a rainy November Sunday today.
Yeah, that's for sure. It was rainy. Had a few breaks at times, but some areas got much needed rain as we're still, I think, in that drought category. Here in Eau Claire, got a bit under a half an inch. Well, the showers are going to be entering our area, which I'll have more details on that rain for tomorrow, as well as Election Day coming up in 15 minutes.
Thanks, Jeremy. Tomorrow, the next vice president will be in western Wisconsin, with both parties' nominees trying to reach voters just one day to Election Day. Republican Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance will be speaking at the La Crosse Center in downtown La Crosse Monday morning at 9:30. Doors open at 7:30 a.m. We have ticket information on our website. And Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz will speak at a Get Out the Vote campaign in La Crosse also tomorrow, then head to a campaign event in Stevens Point and a rally in Milwaukee. His wife, Gwen Walz, will also be a part of all three of those campaign stops. And today in Milwaukee, former President Barack Obama campaigning for Vice President Kamala Harris. The event is part of a final push to encourage voter turnout in the city on the last day of early voting today. Obama says the next president of the United States could be determined by the handful of people who are still unsure who to vote for or to vote at all.
We have a chance to choose a new generation of leadership in this country and start building a better and stronger and more hopeful America.
The former president has traveled to all 7 battleground states to support Harris. This visit is expected to be his final campaign stop before Tuesday's election. All those stops in Wisconsin, part of both candidates' final barnstorm across the battleground states, hoping to win over voters crucial in this tight race. ABC's Perry Russum has the latest from the final 48 hours on the campaign trail.
Less than 48 hours until Election Day, both candidates closing in on the finish line. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Of course, it's not just the presidency on the line this Tuesday. A slew of local and state races are on the ballot here in western Wisconsin, and News 18 has you covered. We'll be closely following the race for Wisconsin Senate between Tammy Baldwin and Eric Hovde. We're also following the 3rd Congressional District between Derek Van Orden and Rebecca Cook, and the 7th District race with Tom Tiffany and Kyle Kilborn. In the State Assembly, we're covering the 91st and 93rd districts, which split Eau Claire County, and the 92nd District, covering most of Chippewa Falls and Menominee. Tracking the 67th district in Barron and Dunn counties and the 68th, covering Rusk, Price, Taylor, and northern Chippewa County, 69th district in Clark and Chippewa counties, 70th district south in Jackson and Monroe counties, and to the west we're covering the 28th and 30th districts in St. Croix County, the 29th district spanning Pierce, Pepin, Buffalo, and most of Trempealeau. Then up north we're watching the 74th and 75th districts. In the state Senate, we'll be watching Senate District 10 from New Richmond down to Trempealeau County, and the 24th district from Black River Falls to Toma and Stevens Point. In addition to all that, we'll bring you the results of the Eau Claire Area School District referendum. Remember, this is the first election with the new state district maps. The best way to see who's on your ballot is to head to myvote.wi.gov. Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday. News 18 will be here around the clock on air and online to keep you informed as the results come in. In for the Packers today, falling to divisional rivals, the Detroit Lions. Brianna Reinhardt joins us now with the highlights. Brianna?
Yeah, Toby, it was a slow start to the game with nobody entering the end zone until the second quarter today. I'll share more highlights and locker room reaction coming up later in sports.
Still ahead tonight, a casual dining chain has declared bankruptcy. Learn what's next. Also ahead, the IRS is raising the limits on 401k contributions. Learn how that could affect your paycheck.